And now, back to Making a Way with Bargain Queen, Sheryl Renee.
All right, welcome back to the show. How's everybody doing out there? Oh, my goodness. I'm looking again at our worldwide reach here on KUHS Denver, which I can tell you right now, we are 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365, baby. We're reaching out to the world. Got Colombia in the house right now, Romania, Mexico, Canada. Got Green Bay. Hey, Green Bay. Bangladesh, Spain. We're so happy to have all of you on the show. All right. Well, this show, the topic today is veteran support. And on the phone, I have a gentleman that I was, I sang at a funeral about 2 weeks ago, someone I had a great admiration and respect for. And I watched them do this military funeral, and I was so impressed with the funeral home. And then on Veterans Day, I had to sing at a funeral at Fort Logan National Cemetery here of someone else very dear to me. And it was a military funeral, and I'm telling you right now, if you love this country, I don't care if you don't love the country. I don't see how people cannot be moved by that ceremony when they play taps and they do the three shot salute or whatnot. But mostly when they sing this song. Day is done, gone's the sun, from the lake, from the hills, from the sky, all is well, safely rest, God is nigh. I'm talking about taps. Oh my gosh. Anytime I hear taps, I'm telling you, I am ready to cry. It means so much. You know, it was a bugle tribute that started here. It's played at dusk during flag ceremonies and also for military funerals and whatnot. But I asked Mr. Norvell Ballard to come on the show just to help people because one of my best friends died a couple of years ago, and his wife she just assumed, oh no, when he died, the military is going to take care of everything. We don't have to pay for anything. And what a shock it was for us to find out that is not the way it goes, that the military will assist you, but they do not pay for the full funeral or the full cremation. And so, just because I'm sure there are other people who are probably thinking the same thing. I know my sweetheart is in the military. He was saying the same thing. I said, I don't think so. I wanted to get an expert on here. And I have so much respect for the people who deal with death on a regular basis. And they know what it takes. They know how it goes. And so please just welcome to the show, Mr. Norvell Ballard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Too blessed to be stressed.
I know that's right, huh? I'll take that attitude, so we can get through these coming months, right?
There you go. Correct.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it because when I called you, you said, hey, give me a call. I'll answer whatever questions you have. So since the show is about Veterans Day, veteran support, can you just give us a little insight as to how it works for vets when they die? What happens from that moment when you get the phone call?
Well, from the moment that we get the phone call, there are a lot of loved ones, next of kin as they are considered, that are under the assumption that the military will pay for a funeral. Mm-hmm. The military will not pay for a funeral unless you're killed on active duty in a war, or you were wounded in a war and your illness or death has been attributed to the time that you received wounds in that war, and it's been documented over the years. There's help for you then. Okay. But veterans, there are two types of veterans. A veteran that has been in the service and spent 2 or 3 years and didn't retire, then what we call a retired veteran. The ceremony and responsibilities that they receive is totally different. What the military will do is pay for everything associated with the burial, and that's whether you're cremated or buried in a casket. Everything at Fort Logan or any national cemetery is absolutely free. That they will take care of.
Okay, but that's only if it is a military cemetery.
military cemetery, they will give you.
Mr. Ballard? I don't know what's happening. You cut out. Hold on a second. Oh, this was too interesting. No, we can't lose this. Okay, hold on a second. Mr. Ballard.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry we lost you for just a second. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, they will pay for everything associated with your burial, whether you're cremated or buried in a casket. That is free, absolutely, and they value that around $10,000.
Now, this was, but these are only for people who are in active duty, or is that for all vets?
No, if you are killed on active duty, they will take care of their expense associated with your burial.
Okay.
But they will not pay for funerals under any circumstances unless it's documented that your death was attributed to when you were wounded in war, and you can put in to be reimbursed for your funeral services.
Okay. Now, in the case of my friend, he had been out of the military for at least a decade or so, and so it was just. I remember it was maybe the compensation wasn't enough that they were willing to reimburse. Is it different? And also, he was not buried at a national cemetery, a military cemetery. So is that different then in those circumstances?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you elect not to be buried at a national cemetery, then you are assuming the cost yourself.
All costs 100%?
All costs 100%. They will compensate you for a marker.
Okay. Wow.
But if you elect to be buried in a cemetery other than a national cemetery, that's a contract between you and that cemetery that you've decided that rather than be buried in a national cemetery, you will pay for your loved ones to be buried in whatever cemetery you select.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, Mr. Ballard, were you in the military? Did you serve?
Yes, I served for 20 years, 2 months, and 28 days.
Ooh. Okay, almost down to the second there.
There you go.
Yes. So now, do you find that patriotism is changing as far as I was talking about the service I sang at on Veterans Day at Fort Logan National Cemetery, and it was just very moving. But I noticed that the people that were running it and that were older. And I'm just wondering, do you see the same patriotism in the younger generation?
Not as much as you do in the older generation. Very few young people look at it from a standpoint, if I go into service, these are the benefits that I will receive for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Older veterans are much more, but I must say that there's never been a time when I've been at a veteran cemetery or service that I haven't been moved by the rights that they've been afforded, because it's totally different. It's something that if you haven't seen it, you should be able to witness it in your lifetime. Now, the difference between a veteran, you might have 2 or 3 people that will come and play taps and present your next of kin with a flag. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you're a retired veteran, you may have anyone from 10 to 15 individuals there that will do the 21-gun salute as well as the folding of the flag. And at Ballard Family Mortuary, what we do is we give you the folding of the flag and explain to you every fold that the flag is being done.
Oh, I love that. Yes, that really blessed me to see that.
Yes.
At Mr. Borum's funeral, I just think it's so interesting to watch how when they are folding that flag, how everything they'll start over again if it's not perfect.
Correct. You're right about that.
Exactly right. The folds and the way that it. I mean, it is just it's so moving.
And if you, like I say, if you haven't seen it, you should be able to witness it. And there are some things that even retired veterans have come up to us and said, I did not know that, and I'm retired. Why do you guys do this, or why do you do that? And when you explain to them, like I say, especially that folding of the flag, mm-hmm. the first fold, mm-hmm. the 6th fold, the 10th fold, mm-hmm. the 13th fold, mm-hmm. there's a reason for every fold.
And for those of you who are listening, if you go to our Pinterest board, Veteran Support, we have several pins that talk about that as well, what each meaning is for each fold, as it's presented to the military. Now, do you mind if I ask you what war did you serve? I mean, did you go into combat when you were in the military?
I served in combat zones, but I was not involved in combat myself.
Okay.
I spent a tour in Vietnam, so I was aware of combat.
Okay. All right. Do they get the same? What do they do? I'm just curious. Is it the same for when they, when your comrades die overseas? Do they do the same thing? Is it the same pomp and circumstance? And
no, what they will do is prepare you, and they will only do it one time. They will wait till your remains are home with your loved ones.
Okay.
Some people will elect to do it at the church. Some people will elect to do it at the cemetery.
Yes.
But it's up to the next of kin as to where they would want it to be done.
Oh, this is so wonderful. I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show today and just clearing all of this up, because people, people don't really know how it works. Now tell the audience how they can find you, Ballard Family Mortuary.
Well, you could give us a call at 720-220-2122.
Okay.
Or you can go to our website, Ballard Family Mortuary, LLC.com, and you can Google us and ask us. If you just want to ask a question, please feel free to call us. One thing that we will give you at Ballard Family Mortuary, and that's honesty about whatever you're doing.
Okay.
And veterans are buried according to being in the service the number of years.
Okay.
But we are also afforded, every veteran, the opportunity to be buried at Ballard Family Mortuary. We will not neglect them even if they don't have the funds to receive a proper burial.
Oh, I love that. See, I know God moves in mysterious ways. I know I picked the right person to call.
Well, I certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, and I'll be sure to get you a copy of this interview. Okay?
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. All right.